All right, we are live. All
Right.
right, welcome to our first full episode on Behind the Bounce. We got a special guest here, Mr. Eric Rick B. Uh, what do you got? What like around 50,000 subscribers on YouTube right
Yeah,
now?
I believe it's 53, which is really cool.
50. Nice. Got 5'7", phenom, over tested over 40-inch vert at dunk camp. Yeah, welcome to the show. And my dunk camp roommate.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Cool. Yeah, so why don't we can kind of just start with like intros of like, well, I guess why don't you give me a little bit of background with dunking, how you got into it, and yeah, just like a quick background, I guess, on your journey.
Uh, well, it all started back when I was like a regular athlete in high school growing up. Nothing crazy. The only thing I could say was I was decently fast, around 11.6 in 100 meters, but everything else I was pretty average, up until COVID started, 2020. I didn't really have anything going on. I was playing video games till like 3 a.m. in the morning. I was like a couple months in, I was like, yo, what am I doing right now? So I decided to pick YouTube back up because I was just doing random vlogs here and there. Pick YouTube back up, started doing a dunk journey thing, and that's when I started training for it. Learned a lot along the journey. Started at about a 26-inch vertical and started doing like a lot of stuff with my 25-pound dumbbells I had at home, a lot of bodyweight
That's
stuff,
right.
a lot of jumping on my driveway, and then ended up achieving maybe a vertical in the mid 30s. Um, got knee pain 2023, all of last year, but I still got my first dunk last year. So that was pretty cool. Hopped on THP, so they got me feeling good with my knee pain. They got me bouncy, got me super strong. Learned a lot from them. Super cool guys. Shout out to John, Isaiah, and Austin. And now
Sir.
I'm at like a 41.5-inch vertical. Pretty cool.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Um, yeah, I don't know if you mind. Let's dig a little further back. So yeah, what kind of sports did you do, and like from like what ages?
I was playing basketball my whole life. Actually, my first sport was soccer. So I was a soccer player.
Same.
Hey, so my footwork is pretty. Your footwork's pretty crazy too. Um,
Yeah.
so soccer growing up.
Like
Um,
what age? Like six,
probably,
7?
probably yeah, 6 to about
Okay.
11 years old. Then I started picking up basketball from 11 to now.
Oh,
Never
bro.
really.
Bro has the same timeline as me, dude.
Yeah.
Literally, yeah. That's when I stopped playing soccer. And I was
Yeah,
like, I'm gonna focus on basketball. Yeah,
that's
yeah.
what I
That's
did.
funny.
Basketball and track. That
Same, yeah, literally same.
and cross country.
No, I didn't do that. I
I
was
did
like,
cross
I'm
country
not. I
too.
was like, I'm not doing all that running.
Yeah, but that did all that stuff. Pretty cool. We never really competed for anything. Never really qualified for anything crazy. Started in when I was 13 years old in grade eight, but that's about it. High school as a bench player. Um, ran 11.6 in high school for 100 meters, but didn't really qualify in the finals. So that's
Dude,
kind
you're literally my life. Just like an alternative,
of
Canadian Filipino version.
version.
No, I mean same thing. I think I was on my freshman B team in basketball,
No,
and
shoot.
then I was on JV, and then I like knew I wasn't gonna make varsity by my junior year, and I was like, screw this. And I was already doing track, so I just like stuck with track. But yeah, that's we have a lot of parallels. That's super interesting. See, that's why we're gonna had
Right,
to get you
right.
on the pod, dude.
That's pretty cool. Like I wasn't
Yeah,
crazy. I was okay at basketball, but I think
yeah,
I
same,
excelled in speed, which was still
same.
pretty average.
I think I was at, yeah, actually, I think my vert was around where it's at right now when I was like 17. So I was
Really?
pretty yeah, I was pretty
Yeah,
bouncy.
that's crazy.
And then I just stopped for like a decade and worked. Um, yeah, so what are some other, I guess, do you know any of your like weight room stats, just out of curiosity, back before you started? And then like what are your current stats now, like vertical jump or like well, you kind of mentioned the running, but I don't know, maybe standing, lifts, any stuff like that. Just kind of curious.
Well, I never really tested my max. Like I was just working out randomly here and there. I didn't like I was in university, so I didn't really. I was just working out during my breaks, doing random stuff with my friends. Uh,
Mm.
so I could probably bench. What's the timeline? Like in 2020?
I guess yeah, I guess anything like I guess maybe high school. Like what was your like baseline?
Never
Like
never worked out in high school. I could probably
dang, that's crazy.
I think
Okay.
I could just curl like a 25 pound, but I didn't really bench well.
That's crazy.
I didn't
So
squat.
pre dunk training, what were your maxes and then like what are your maxes now?
Pre-dunk training, like I said, high school, university. I didn't really university. I could say my maxes and bed and deadlifts was probably like 175. Squat probably like probably 165. Bench press like 165, 155. So it was like
Were you were on the same weight, kind of like where you're at right now?
yeah, but maybe a little heavier actually, 150.
Oh, like 150 something.
Yeah, now I'm
You and I
130.
actually started around the same weight. I think I started around 155-ish on my dunk journey, and then now I'm like 148.
We
Yeah,
just got
like
the
in
same
between.
everything, huh?
What's up?
We just got the same everything.
It's weird. It's
What
so
is this?
weird. It's so weird.
Just
Yeah,
getting on
yes.
a podcast with yourself.
I pretty much just with a bandana on.
Yeah, yeah, that's
Okay, cool. And then yeah, like so what are some of your stats now? I guess like standing, running, and then some of your lifts.
so I'm kind of proud of my lifts right now. 143 pounds. Squatted 315 like a few months ago for one. For
Oh
deadlift,
yeah.
I deadlift 385 a few months ago. Pretty sure I could get 405 right now.
Yeah.
Still could get a little heavier, going heavier than 315 in squat too. Bench press, I didn't bench like the my PR is 210, which I did last year in like
Oh,
August.
we're so similar.
210?
Mine's 215.
Oh my gosh. Like right now,
Yeah.
I'm like my bench is really weak, so I'm trying to get back, try to get it
Yeah,
back
my
up.
bench isn't great right now. I have some
Uh,
injuries. Yeah, same.
Power clean, I did 225, which was a
Yeah,
huge accomplishment for me.
that's a huge milestone. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah.
So that's cool. What other lifts are there? Hip thrust, I could hip thrust a decent amount.
Yeah,
Um,
you can. Yeah, so could I. Yeah. What do you, 500 or so?
like probably more.
Oh yeah, more, huh?
I have no idea. I don't really do it as much.
Yeah, we
Um,
don't max those out.
what else? What else? Standing vertical 36 and then running vertical 41 and a half.
Yeah, those are solid. Yeah, man, those are really good numbers. Those are really solid numbers. Yeah, definitely be proud of yourself. Yeah, I mean those some of those numbers I'm trying to get to myself for sure. Like I want to hit that 350. I actually haven't hit 315 squat myself. I think I'm around like 195 for my power clean. I think it's a lot of technique cleanup. Honestly, it needs to happen. Yeah, we're pretty similar. Yeah, honestly, we're pretty similar. I think you're definitely a little further ahead in some of the lifts, and it kind of makes sense. You're a little further ahead in, I think you're vertical for sure. So, just got to get strong, boys and girls.
Yes, sir. That's what it's all about, bro. Just training.
Um, yeah, 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 for sure. What are some of the like what are some of the challenges that you faced just being like 5'7" and like with your standing reach, all like on your dunk journey, like
Uh,
mental or physical, like whatever.
a lot of mental barriers for sure. I'm sure you kind of experienced it too, being on the shorter side. Got a lot of, like I have like a friend group where we all just make fun of each other, right? So when I would just bring something like this up, where was really passionate about it and was serious. Like my friends know me as kind of like a guy who doesn't really take stuff seriously. So when I would bring
Mm,
this up, they would kind of like put it down, kind of shoot it down, not take it seriously, laugh at me and stuff like that. Like I acted like it didn't bother me, but kind of did.
yeah,
So it's
for sure.
stuff like that that kind of got in the
Started
way.
your villain arc.
I guess so. I guess so. But I kind of got used to it, so I didn't really open up as much. Just started training quietly. Uh,
Mm.
started comparing myself to a lot of guys, which was terrible. Like guys that are also shorter, like Dom. Dom is five, like
Yeah,
a.
that's tough. Yeah.
How am I gonna compare myself to like a generational athlete? Like, it's kind of stupid. But
The
yeah,
Asian dunkers came up. Like they came up. And it's hard not to compare yourself to when you haven't maybe seen guys that look like you that jump, and then now you are starting to see it, and you're like, oh well, if they're doing it, but it's like, just because there's so much context, right? You don't know what their background is. You don't know how long they've been training. Like, sure, there's always the genetic component, maybe that a little bit of a head start, blah blah blah.
yeah,
I
bro.
I feel
Yeah,
that.
like it's crazy. But I kind of looked at it as a way as like if Dom or Tony could do it, you know, they can do East
Like
Bay, then I'd be able to at least dunk, right?
yeah, like
So
inspirational. I think that's totally like a healthy way to look at it for sure.
I still kind of looked at it as a way of like, yo, these guys are doing way more than me at a younger age. So like, I was kind of had like a negative mindset with that for sure. But I got it better.
Yeah. But
I
now
got,
it's kind of like shifted more like towards like inspirational.
oh yeah, 100%. And I'm just
Yeah,
happy
yeah.
that these guys are taking it seriously at a young age. Like shout out Dylan. Dylan's like, been doing this stuff for years, longer than me, and he's way younger
That's
than me.
what I'm saying. Yeah. These
Yeah.
these guys are young, but they've been training for years.
So yeah, Hoopin' Nate. This guy is about to be
Hoop and Nate, yeah.
pro dunker. Oh man, I can name like a bunch of dudes that are just like have super high potential. But I'm happy to see it. Like
You want to Yeah, yeah. I was
I'd
going to
be
say, do you
jealous.
want to get into that? Like just some guys that you see that have like
Huge
I guess the new
potential.
generation of pro dunkers
Uh,
on the up and up.
Hiram for sure. Hiram, the guy that tested 48.
Oh, yeah, Hiram. Yeah.
And I just had a dunk session with Dylan McCarthy. Have you seen him?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But that guy is freaking
These guys
crazy.
are young too, right? Yeah.
He's 17 years old. No, he's 18, but he has a
Yeah.
49-inch vertical. Tested that in like running shoes.
Oh, yeah, Dylan is yeah, he's crazy. Is he Canadian?
He's from Buffalo, but he drove down to around here to have a session
Oh.
with me and Kilgannon. So that was kind of cool.
Yeah. Dude, you gotta let me know next time you do a session with Kogan. I'll fly up there.
Yeah, definitely let you know. But yeah, Kilgannon, definitely had to pull up. I had to dunk on my rest day, so I got knee pain now, but it was worth it.
Yeah, I mean, worth it. I mean, it'd be like that.
But yeah, Dylan McCarthy and Dylan Hogan. Uh,
Yeah, they're both
Dom,
crazy. Yeah, they're both crazy.
Dom is really young. He could definitely test 50. Um,
Yeah, for sure.
who else is there? The Utah Dunkers. Those guys are freaking crazy too.
Yeah, all of them.
Yeah, so like a bunch of dudes.
Yeah, Mason. Yeah, all of them are crazy. All of them
Mhm.
are crazy, actually. Yeah,
Freak athletes for sure.
yeah,
Freak.
yeah, for sure. What would you do differently, knowing what you know now? And I'm sure you've probably done videos on this, but I guess a brief summary of like
Oh well.
if you were to coach yourself before you started training, like if you were to coach yourself back then, like what would you do?
Well, firstly, I would probably just have a set routine. I was just doing random plyos here and there. Um, I didn't really have a set routine, so I'd have like strict routines. I would start weightlifting early because I started weightlifting a little later on. I would have a specific day for jumping. I would just jump like maybe 20 times max on my plyo days. Didn't really count that as a jump session. So I'd have some designated jump sessions, and progressively overload each day or each week, and at least do some type of simple periodization method, like at least some type of block linear periodization method where it's kind of simple.
Yeah.
Um, Honestly, I probably would have, if I did it now, I probably just joined THB when I was like 19. So there's that.
Thanks.
If I were to train myself, I would just do all those things.
Yeah, because you could learn so much more, and then you obviously don't have to stick around for forever, and you can hop off whenever you like, or just stay on whatever. It depends on your priorities and your goals and stuff like that. No, that
Yeah,
makes sense.
yeah,
Um,
sure.
nice. Um, I talked with Andy. I think Andy's gonna be like a reoccurring guest.
Hey,
Shit, I mean, you could even be a recurring guest if you want, but no pressure.
I'm open to it.
Um, but yeah, we talked about dunk myths, so I was just kind of curious, like, what are some dunk myths that you think come to mind? Like myths you had, like, before you have the knowledge that you have now. And yeah,
What did
what are
Andy say?
some myths? We talked about, yeah, just kind of like overhyping, like, your jump sessions, like how important, like you need to jump well all like every week, and it's like a whole thing.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, like basically not prioritizing like your training, um, and like kind of saving it for the jump sesh so you could have like a perfect jump sesh. I think like that's been a big one.
Mm. Oh, and that's what you mean by dunk myths. Dunk myths, I
That's
would,
like kind of in the bag, like when you're really dunk training. But you could even have ones where you like for me, I think a big myth was like I knew I needed to get strong, but I think like I over prioritized getting strong over like not jumping enough. Like I didn't know about jump sessions. Like I was just like, oh, I should just get like really really strong and kind of play basketball here and there, and I'll probably be good. Like,
yeah,
but I mean, you could, but then you're gonna plateau, obviously. So I think that was my biggest myth was like, oh, I gotta like train like a power lifter. Um, but like yeah, so I didn't concurrently do both. But yeah,
that
I think that was like a really big myth.
that's huge for sure. I would say, playing basketball. People think that playing basketball and jump training kind of correlate. Kind of, but like
Mm.
not necessarily. Once I started to actually understand that basketball was eating my energy from jump training, sometimes I get distracted and play basketball
Oh yeah.
instead of jump. So once I started taking that seriously, my vertical started to skyrocket, my lifts skyrocketed, but I also do understand that some guys don't want to take hooping out of the equation because they're hoopers first, not jumpers first, right?
Yeah.
So that's something for vertical jump and dunking wise. That's something that's super super important in getting there. Also, what else? Prior
That
like
yeah, that was gonna say that was a really good one. Like, are you a hooper first or are you a dunker first? And I think like coming to terms with that
yeah,
is really important because that then you can structure your training, right?
yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
But there's
yeah,
not a lot
yeah.
of guys like that, which is okay. There's different athletes out there.
Right, yeah, that's what I'm saying. If hooping is number one, then yeah, like then you got to get that in.
Yeah, you got to. So you got to just find ways to kind of micromanage or microdose other qualities of training
Yeah,
in
facts.
in your
Yeah.
week. So it's really that. Another thing I want to say is overemphasizing plyos and plyometric,
Mm.
traditional plyos at least, like box
Mm.
jumps, depth landings, depth jumps, pogos, all that stuff. Those are good, but it's not really gonna. You gotta have like some type of specificity with your training, so that's why maximal jumping is really important to get in there. This is like assuming that you're not doing max jumps. Like if you're only just doing
Right. Right. Like if you're only doing those, I agree. Yeah, you're definitely undershooting like training.
yeah,
Yeah, because it's kind of like lifting, right? If you're training for like a powerlifting meet and you've never come close to a 1 rep max, how are you gonna know like how strong you are, and how are you gonna know how's it gonna feel when you actually lift that 1 rep max? I feel like it's the same thing. It's like you working at like 60% the whole time, and all of a sudden you got to go 100% one rep max, and it's like, oh, now you got to go try dunk. You're like, oh well, you haven't jumped maximally this whole time. Like it's a
that's a good
skill.
analogy. That's a great analogy.
Oh, is it? Yeah. It's for
That's
the
great.
lifters, for the meatheads out there.
That's a good one. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, yeah. Because powerlifting itself is a skill within itself. Like doing 1 rep max is 2 reps, 3 reps. It's like all these things. I think people get to your point. I think the common thread between both of the examples we talked about is just uh like underutilizing jumping and like trying to find a shortcut, right? Like, oh, like let me do plyos instead of like max jumps. Ooh, let me like get super 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 duper strong instead of like also doing max. It's like you can do all those things, but you got to do max jumps.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Once
No,
in a while,
that's
got to do the thing that you want to do, right?
yeah, exactly. Law of specificity. Um, what's been what do you think has been like a really big game changer? Like an aha moment where you're like, "Oh my God, like what have I been doing?" I guess in your what, 3-year journey, right?
About three and a half, reaching four.
Nice.
My aha moment, um, definitely periodization. As complicated as it is, the amount of research I did on that was like kind of stupid because I would just like research it all day, 24/7 for a while. But it was definitely necessary to have some type of, structure to that. And obviously the fact that I'm on PHP kind of makes that a little easier.
Sure.
Um, but no, learning all that stuff and knowing why I'm doing certain things, um, training certain qualities, that kind of made the longer process a lot easier and more manageable. And also kind of enjoying the process because uh,
That's a big one.
I was way too destination driven.
Yeah.
Especially when I was injured, trying to get that first dunk again. Uh, it's
I
tough.
feel you, brother.
Yeah, but now that me and you are dunking pretty consistently now, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like, let's just try to train as hard as we can, try to perform as best as we can. If we can't, then it is what it is.
It is what it is. No, I feel you, man. It's tough to get. It's like, yeah, you're trying to get the monkey off your back, right? And I think that's like hard, because like you just want to get that first one in. So it's like easier said than done. Of like, oh, just like enjoy the process. But it's like it can feel torturous and it can feel like hell when you're so focused on this one goal and things aren't going necessarily your way. But I think that's the true irony and the beauty with training, right? Is that like it you can only control what you can control, and there's a lot of it that's just going to be out of your hands, and you have to be willing to accept it and then be okay with what did I remember Isaiah was saying, like, if you're not ready to do this for like 10 years or at least several years, if you're not willing to put in that, then like it's probably not the right thing for you.
Yeah, for sure.
Which, like, I think when he said that, I was like, oh, damn. Because in my head, I was like, oh, like, I want to see if I could dunk in 12 months. That was my thing. I was like, I'm already kind of decently athletic. Yeah, I'm a little bit older now, but like, so I was kind of putting this timeline, which is good, but like, to what we were saying, it was just like, but then I sprained my ankle and then I couldn't walk and it put me out of commission for 3 months. Now what with this timeline? And it's like, well, it's going to take what it takes, I think is what I learned.
Yeah, yeah. I think we both knew that enjoying the process would help, but it's hard to do it. Just do it like that, right?
Yeah.
You can't just do it like that. You just got to
You got
go.
to get deep in your bag of just like growth as a person, to be honest.
You can't just randomly just, yeah, I enjoy the journey now. Like you got to go through some type of like some type
Something's
of
gonna force
obstacle.
you.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
gonna.
yeah. That something's gonna force you to sit down for a minute.
Yeah, so it's kind of, yeah, you got to reflect on some stuff and also kind of be stoic about it, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And just try to be like feel your emotions, but try to like tackle everything as objectively as you possibly can.
Mhm.
Um, yeah. So what are some of your what are some of your goals? I guess like vertical jump wise. Um, yeah. I guess like just I guess short term in the year, and I guess like long term.
Short term, I want to test a 43, at least a 43 or 44 at Duncam next year. And if we're talking about dunking, I want to do a two-hander. I want to do a double up. I think what's realistic is a two-hander, double up,
Oh, that's
reverse.
super realistic.
Um,
Like this year,
I don't
like
know.
these next few months.
I don't know about that, bro. I wish, but being realistic, I don't know. I don't know.
So when you
Uh,
say two hander, like you mean off the dribble, off lob,
Lob for sure.
self lob,
Yeah, would like to get a
bro?
off the dribble dunk.
On 10, on like what, on 10, 9, 9, 9, 10? Does it matter to you?
9, 10 to 10 is kind of the same to me. I don't
You
really.
could, dude. You could. I've seen you in You can do that. You could have done that months ago.
Which the double up?
No, I mean the two-hander. I think you
Bro, I don't
I
know what's
think you
happening.
can. I mean, I've come close on days on accident, and I realized like, what am I doing? I should just go for this more often. I think on a good day,
I
like an
remember
average. What's
I
up?
was throwing you some crazy lobs and you were doing two-hand attempts for like some random reason. And you were getting real close at dunk
That's what
camp.
I'm saying. We don't probably really practice it that much. Do you? Do you practice it?
Nah, no.
You see what I mean? Like,
But like I'm just trying to get into the thing of getting like regular dunks consistently still.
same. Yeah,
Uh,
folks.
on average, my
How's
vertical yeah, what's up?
how's your? Sorry, go ahead.
I think on average my vertical is like 38. So right now,
Oh, that's
I,
good. Yeah, like on an average day.
yeah,
Okay.
it's fatigue.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know exactly what mine is, but I mean, like I'm getting consistent lobs at least on like 9 9 9 10. It's like pretty
Yeah.
like there's not a session that goes by that I don't at least have one. How's your what about any goals for like off the dribble? Cuz I know obviously that's a lot more challenging for us guys like under 6 foot. I think that off the dribble is like a beast. What are your thoughts on like off the dribble dunks in general?
I would like to get one within. I mean, I've gotten one on that bent rim at dunk camp. I don't really want to count that, but it was I got.
Did you
Uh,
post that?
I can post it here and there, but I didn't really like it. It wasn't
Dude,
crazy.
off the dribble looks sick if you're under 6 feet.
It does. So I would like to get one on like at least 9 10 within at least by the end of next year.
Do you practice off the dribbles at all?
Here and there, um, on my driveway, but since it's getting cold, like I can't really do that. So the main priority is lobs,
Dude, just
as
come
long
come
as
on down, brother.
that's what I'm saying.
It don't
As
get
long as
cold. It don't get cold here.
unfortunately, fuck. But
Yeah.
it is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you definitely inspired me to work on my lobs more, for
Really?
sure. You and a few guys, yeah, like and I was just like, man, why am I fucking around with these off the dribble so damn much? Like I could have been dunking. I fucked around for months and I probably could have been dunking off a lob a lot sooner, like way before dunk camp, like months before. But I was just kind of so obsessed with like off the dribble, off the dribble. Like when I dreamed of dunking, I was like, off the dribble, right? Everyone wants to like off the dribble on someone's face. That's like the goal.
Yeah, that's the goal.
Um, but I was like, damn, this is a lot harder than I thought. And then I was like, man, like I should really just practice off like self lob. So I've gotten yeah, that's what I've done these last several months. And
Yeah, you've
I
been
mean, who
killing.
would have thought,
You.
right? Oh, thanks. But I was like, who would have thought actually practicing something you get good at it?
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like I didn't jump for like the first 6 months. I didn't do a max jump at least for the first 6 months of my training, and I wasn't jumping higher. Why? I
Yeah,
wasn't jumping.
right.
Of course. um,
Yeah,
that's what it takes, bro.
you're getting good conditioning. Like,
Hey, bro. At least that was. Yeah, I guess so.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Outside of like those, like, any goals to like ever do a dunk contest? Or is it, or are you kind of like seeing how things go?
Nah, that's not really my thing. If it happens, cool.
Gotcha.
But I don't. It's not my goal. I don't really care about it. I'm just trying to see how high I can personally jump and the cool things I can do dunking wise. And just kind of make more connections around. Like meeting everybody at dunk camp was really cool. Kind of being that guy that could dunk at 5'7" is really cool.
Oh
Uh,
yeah,
I also just I am focusing more on coaching and stuff like that. So I want to be kind of like that world renowned coach. So I've been kind of studying a
nice.
lot more. But vertical jump wise, I'm just trying to be the best I could possibly be. Not really trying to compete or something.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, you want to be able to walk the walk, right?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy because I'm doing the same thing.
The- Hey, bro.
I told you we're doing the same. No, it's really cool, man.
Same with you. Same with you.
What's up?
Yeah, what's your long term thing is the same thing?
I think so. Yeah, like because people are always like contest, and it's like it hasn't really. I've kind of like similar views with you. Like if it does happen, and the opportunity comes, and I feel like I'm decently ready. Sure, like just for fun, I think it would be cool. But to your point, like that's not kind of where my end goal is. My end goal is to, yeah, like see how high I can go. You know, especially in my 30s, I'm like, damn, like this is kind of cool. How high I can jump, and then like you said, like, what else can I do? Like, if I can get, I know if I personally can get close to, or if I can get around a 40 and kind of be where you're at, but because I'm a little bit taller, like, or my reach is a little taller, like, I know I'll be able to like consistently get like off the dribbles and two handers and stuff like that. If I can get to like a 38 baseline and get elite at like around a 40, I mean, obviously, I don't want to stop there, but I think that's like a really great goal for me to get to. That would open a lot of doors because that would basically have me touching. If I can touch, if I can touch around 11, if I touch around 11, that's like 42. If I touch 10-10, that's 40, I
That's
think.
that's windmill territory.
Oh yeah. I mean, shoot, Alex. Shout out to Alex in LA. He was Artizone. He was showing me how to do windmill off a handoff. Like I think that goes down like next year. To be honest, it's a lot of technique, a lot of technique.
Yeah, for sure. I've never tried
Yeah,
a handoff, but I feel like it's pretty easy off a lob.
yeah. Well, Alex was saying that it's easier off a handoff because you could really push down. Like
Ah,
right, you're pushing. It's kind of like a double up, right, where you could push against somebody. So that's what he was kind of saying. So I think those. So yeah, you said your yeah, my dunks are like what I want to get soon is like definitely a two-hander. Oh, and I want to get a windmill and I want to get a double up. I think we're pretty similar, pretty similar,
yeah,
except
trying to get a windmill.
minus the windmill. But I think you could definitely do it. Um,
I think so. I think we both got
yeah,
it, as long as we keep training. Hopefully next year. But if it's not next year, I'm not stressed about it.
yeah, same here. I think it's been a great journey, man, to learn about ourselves and where we could like physically what we can do and just mentally what we can do and like what you were saying like yeah, like I guess what have you noticed I guess this is my last question. What have you noticed in terms of like growth as like a person and like an individual through this like dunk journey?
Honestly, yeah, that was like a huge thing that changed with me. Like my mental. I don't know if it was just because I grew up or whatever, but the journey definitely, like since from the beginning to now, like I feel like I matured a lot. I got a sense of discipline that I didn't really have before. I didn't really have a good work ethic before, but now I have a
Mm.
crazy work ethic.
Can't
Uh,
not if you're trying to dunk at 5'7".
exactly. But yeah, mentally, I definitely think I leveled up a lot. I kind of looked into stoicism, which is kind of what I like to live life by. Um, and just kind of finding a way, having a passion and having something to live for pretty much. Because I didn't really know what I was doing career-wise or passion-wise or anything like that. So all these things kind of came together with dunking. It wasn't just a linear journey of just trying to dunk, right? So I'm sure the same with you. You kind of found yourself back with athletic training, and that's kind of what I found myself, right? I've always been an athlete, but never really crazy. Now that I can, kind of be happy and do this, um, spend a lot of time doing this, I'm happy about that.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's awesome, man. I think you just reach some point in your life where you're just kind of done with mediocrity and you're like, right. And you're
Exactly.
just
I don't
like,
know what happened. I don't know what happened, but
yeah, yeah, same. And and you're just like, well, what about if I tried? Now, like, what about if I actually tried? And I think I mean, same for us. And I think that's the cool thing about this dunk communities. You get to meet all types of dudes who are like that because it's like, for sure, you get some guys who have some genetic gifts and things like that, but still, like, you got to put in work. Like, because just because you could jump out the gym doesn't mean you could actually like dunk well. You know what I mean? Like, actually, you know what I mean? Um, and a lot of the guys, like when you like, roll back the film, you're like, damn, like he wasn't jumping like that all the time. So he's really worked at it. So I feel like that's really cool to meet a lot of like-minded individuals.
100%.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, dope, man. Yeah, I guess we'll wrap up this episode. Um, I guess yeah. Any final remarks?
I'm just happy that you brought me on. This is my first podcast, so that was kind of cool. Hopefully, I feel like I'm too monotone for podcasts. I feel like I hope I'm not boring.
Nah, dude. I'm sure this
I hope
is
I'm
this is
not
gonna be
boring.
great.
Um, but yeah, it was a great time. Always happy to talk to you, bro. Love your stuff.
Awesome.
So I'm just happy to be on.
Likewise, man. Yeah, I mean, yeah, and you're definitely a big inspiration, I think, like in terms of like dunk content because I mean, man, like yeah, just posting your journey is super inspirational, I think, for a lot of folks because I think people want to see it. They want to, it's very tangible. They want to see like, oh, okay, like he's gone through injuries, he's gone through like plateaus, he's gotten stuck here, and like what is he kind of like how has he pivoted and things like that. So it's pretty dope and now I started my YouTube channel and I'm doing my thing and I'm trying to create more content. So it's yeah, it's definitely pretty cool. Um
Yeah, content is
yeah.
king, bro. Also something, videography is something that I'm super into. So I'm trying to shoot some more
Yeah, man.
stuff. I love it,
No,
bro.
I mean, like I said, yeah, I mean, you're inspiring me too. I'm like, yo, I gotta up my game for all this stuff, and it's been really cool. It's been cool. Like now, I'm getting into content creation, videography. I was just trying to coach, and now it's like I'm doing the whole thing now. But it's great. Like it's
Yeah,
um
passions and stuff to improve in. It's kind of cool. Got a piano in the back right there, just playing on some stuff. So
Oh, you?
yeah, I got a right there, right there.
Oh yeah, I see it. I
Yeah,
was gonna
some.
say like, yeah, I have a piano too.
Do you? Do you play piano? Oh yeah, you do.
Yeah,
I saw that video. Let's hear
yeah,
something.
yeah. Boom, right here.
Let's hear something.
Oh, dude, that's another podcast.
All right. All right.
No, this whole setup doesn't work. So
No, I got you. Gotcha.
got this
Uh,
whole setup here,
but
but
yeah, it's just having other stuff to try to improve in, is kind of fun. Not just dunking, but like the fact that I got this work ethic, I could do like I could try out a lot of different stuff.
dude, 100%. I feel like it's the same. Like once you feel like you've conquered this beast, or like you just feel like you could do anything. You're like, damn, if I like dedicated years to like dunking, man, like you take that same work ethic and you can just do about anything. I mean, dude, I created the logo for the for the podcast. I like got the equipment, just you just figure it out and you learn and I think like Duncan has also taught me like you got to be okay with like failing and you got to be okay with things not being perfect. It's never going to be perfect. So you might as well just go out there and try.
Yeah,
So,
just gotta. Yeah, you're not gonna be good at the beginning, and people just gotta realize that, right? Just with anything, with
yeah.
YouTube, your video is gonna suck in the beginning. Jumping, you're gonna suck it in the beginning, unless you're like just a genetic freak. So there's all these things that you gotta kind of consider when starting something new. And I think that's what people are scared of, looking stupid, looking pathetic. Um, yeah, just sucking.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, you embrace the suck basically.
I guess you can put it that way. I guess.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, yeah. I mean, if you can like be okay living in that, you know, and you could just settle in there, I think like, oh man, sky's the limit, right? Because that's when everyone quits, right? And you've done it, man. That's so crazy. You've done it. I'm just approaching year two, and a lot of you
That's
guys are,
crazy.
yeah,
Dang. Yeah, so you got.
yeah. And honestly, it should be less theoretically, because 3 months I couldn't really walk well.
Yeah.
But yeah, like going back to what we were saying, I just put this time limit of like a year and all these things, and then I'm like, dude, all these guys have been doing this for years. And I think it's been really inspirational because I'm like, damn, like what about if I dedicate 3, 4, 5, years? Like, where would I be? So I think that's like kind of what you were saying, where Dom and all those guys, for sure, all those guys have been inspirational, and then you have been also inspirational because you started a little bit earlier. And I'm watching you do it, so it's been cool, man. So super full circle. Um, yeah, man. So yeah, we definitely gotta either get you back on the pod or we got to link up in
Get
Toronto.
get a few dunks. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
open,
yeah, for sure.
open to it. Yeah, let me know when you want me back. I'll happily hop on again. Let me know if you want to pull up to Toronto. I don't know if I want to go to Texas.
I mean, okay, so Houston is amazing. Houston is amazing. The rest of Texas, but Houston's amazing. Super diverse, got good ass food.
Hmm,
You would love it down here, but yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We'll
sure.
we'll make something happen. All right, I'm
Well,
gonna
we'll run
stop.
in one day, one of these days, for sure.
Yeah,
Bring some of your guys. Who lives there? Andy?
yeah. Andy's in Austin. Actually, no one's really in Houston. Andy's in Austin.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, so Andy's in, but I get some guys for sure. Yeah, you're gonna see me. Andy's gonna roll up here actually next
Nice.
Friday, so that'll be really cool. And we'll have a jump sesh together. We'll film some stuff, and he says he can get me definitely some good tips on like a windmill and like a double up. So yeah, I'm like super excited. Um, so that'll be really dope.
All right, we're
But
gonna
yeah,
see it, bro. We better see it next.
yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, I'm gonna
We're
go ahead
gonna
and stop this.